Hello everyone, welcome back to the Kotlin Crash Course. In the last episode, we covered variables and data types. Today, we are diving into basic operators and expressions in Kotlin. These are fundamental concepts you will use in almost every Kotlin program you will write. So let's get started. What are operators? Operators are special symbols that perform operation on variables and values. The value is for an operand, while the operation to be performed between the two operands is defined by an operator. So let's look at this expression. On the left side, this is a variable being created, but on this side, the numbers here, 150, represent the operand, while this symbol, the plus symbol here, is an operator. And it doesn't pertain to only a literal value, as in the actual value is 150, but it applies to variables as well. So in this case, we created this variable, and then we are using it here, and then applying the operator on it. In Kotlin, operators can be grouped into four categories. The first one is arithmetic operator. We have the assignment operator, comparison operator, and logical operator. Let's start with the arithmetic operators. So these are the usual operators that we use every day for addition, for adding to, subtraction. We have multiplication and division, and modulo. The modulo is used to return the remainder when you perform a division. Let's look at an example. So let's say I have the price for apple and orange. I have apple price equal to 20, and then orange price equals to 4. So with arithmetic operators, let's see addition. For example, you can find the total price for all the fruits. So we can have fruit price, which is equal to apple plus orange. Okay, so if you print this to the console, fruit price, you will get a total which is 24, which will be 24. Yeah, so we have the total here, 24. So these are the basic operations in mathematics that we do on a daily basis. Yeah, so likewise, you can find the difference between the fruit prices. So let's see, difference in price is equal to apple minus orange. And when you print this, you'll have system as your result. So I think the rest are, yeah, that's it. This is the first and this is the second. So I think with the product is the same. Let me go to the modulo so that I'll show you an example of how to perform the modulo operator. So this one finds the remainder when you perform a division. So when we divide 20 by 4, it is 5, and the remainder is 0. So let's try that. Remainder plus apple by orange. So it will give us remainder of 0. Okay. So that's just about it for arithmetic operations. So these are the everyday operations that we perform. So we have another operator called assignment operator. I think we've used it, so let me use this example to explain it. So the assignment operator is used to assign values to variables. So we have this variable called apple price, and with the help of this operator, this equal to sign, we are able to assign this value into this apple price variable. So anywhere we call this apple price variable, it refers to this 20 value. Yeah. So let's look at comparison operators. The comparison operators compare two values and return a Boolean result, either true or false. So these are like questions you ask when you are programming, or in real life you ask, is my age equal to your friend's age? Is my score equal to my friend's age? Are the attendees' age less than or equal to, let's say, 18 years? So these operators help you to achieve or answer those questions. These operators help you to construct such questions. Okay, so let's look at example of this. So if you want to do compare equality for something, then you use double equal sign. So check the difference between this and then the assignment operator. So for the assignment operator, we use a single equal symbol, but for the equality, if you want to check whether some value or variable is equal to other, you use the double equal to. And then if you want to check if a value is not equal to the other, you use exclamation and then an equal to, and then the rest, I think this greater than and then less than. So if you want to compare whether something is equal or less than something, this is what we use. We use equal, greater, or equal. So you do it like this, or equal, and then you want to use. Okay, sorry, I interchanged it. Yeah. Is it greater or equal to the other? And then this is less or equal to. Yeah. So let's look at an example. So I'll paste these variables here. Person 1 age and then person 2 age. So we'll perform some comparison and see the possible outputs. Yeah, so let's look at this example. For here, I'm passing the operation directly into these strings. I'll talk about it in a bit. So here, I'm asking the question, is person 1 the same age as person 2? How do you construct the question in code or in Kotlin? This is how you do it. So here, let's say I'm creating another variable for results. Result, and then I'm performing this calculation, this comparison. Is person 1 equal to person 2? So I think I already have this result. So let me call it check. Okay. So in this case, I'm creating I'll have this to age of. I have this variable that holds the age of different persons, and then I'm asking the question whether person 1's age is equal to person 2. How do you construct such in Kotlin? This is how you do it. You use the double equal to sign to compare the age between person 1 and person 2. And then if you compare this and we run it, you see that the output is false because person 1 and person 2's age are not, the value is not the same. So print false. Let me finish it. So let me print this. Let me print check. Let me comment out there. When you print check, you get false because the ages are not the same. Okay. So you get false. Yeah, you get false. This was the previous one. So here you get false. Okay. So let's continue. So I'm also asking the second question: is person 1 not the same age as person 2? So how do you construct such a question? This is it. So let me just copy this and then create another variable called check 1, which is equal to this. So you compare, I'm comparing whether they have the same age. It's not the same age as person 2. Is person 1 not the same age as person 2? This is how you construct this. So you bring exclamation sign and then the equal to sign. And it is true because they are not, the ages are not the same. This is the question I'm asking. Okay. And then when I'm also asking another question, is person 1 older than person 2? So is person 1 older than person 2? This is how you check for it, whether person 1 is greater than person 2. I can also ask another question. Is person 2 younger or the same age as person 2? So is person 2 age less than or equal to person 2? And then you hit on the run button to see the result. Yeah, so when we run it first, we saw this result. So since the numbers are not the same, we expect that when you compare whether they are when you compare whether the age is the same, we got false. But when we check whether it is not the same, it was true. And also when we check whether it's 5 is less than 30. So these are the comparison operators. Let's talk about operators. So these are used to combine multiple Boolean expressions. These are either Boolean expression, or relational operators or comparison operators. So we use the logical operators to we use the logical operators to combine relational operators or comparison operators. So it's like English. We have simple sentence and then compound sentence and then complex sentences. So these operators helps you to achieve something similar. So you use the comparison operators to compare between two values or variables. And then if you want to construct a complex or compound comparison, then you use the logical operators. So for the logical end, we use the two ampersand. And then the logical or you use two bars. We call them pipes in programming. So you use two pipes. And then we have the logical not. That's the reverse of the result. It returns false if the result is true. So for the logical and operator, it returns true if both statements are true, or returns true only if one of the statements is true. So this one, at least one of them has to be true, then the whole statement will be true. But this one, both has to be true before the whole state true. And then this one negates or toggles the value to a different state. So if it is true, it will become false and vice versa. So let's look at an example. So let's say I have a variable called is sunny, which I set to true, and then a variable is weekend, which I set to false. and then another variable is equal, let's say false. So let's perform an example of logical operator. So let me copy this code. Yeah. So this is an example of logical operator. So here this is a boolean. This is true. This is a boolean, and this also a boolean. So logical operators operate on boolean expression. That means whatever is on the left side and then the right side has to be a boolean, or it has to evaluate to a boolean, or it should produce a boolean. It should produce a boolean value. Whatever is on the left or the right side of it has to produce a boolean value. So since I've created a boolean variable and I'm using the variables here, it gives me that boolean expression. So I'm asking that should I go outside? Should I go outside? Based on the condition that it is sunny and then it is weekend. And like I said, if the values on both sides of the logical and operator is true, then the whole expression evaluates to true. But in this case, since they are opposite values, the logical operators will result to false. Likewise, when we come to the second statement, where can I go outside? I'm checking whether I can go outside. So when you come to the second statement, I'm checking whether I can stay inside based on the condition that it is not sunny and it is not weekend. It is not sunny, it is not weekend. So as you can see, like I told you, the not operator reverses the value. If it is true, it becomes false, and vice versa. So if you look at this is sunny, and sunny is true. As you have exclamation sign here, which is the logical not, if you apply it over here, this one becomes false. And then as the weekend is also true, it's also false. When you apply to it, it becomes true. And this logical operator just need one true on either side of it to make the whole statement true. So let's run it and see the output. Let me comment out this so that I can reduce what's being produced on the console. Okay, so let me run this one and see that. Okay, so should I go outside results to false because one of this value is false. And then can I stay inside result to true because it is not sunny, it is not weekend. So these operators are crucial when you are working with conditions and decision making in your program, which I'll talk about in my next episode. Let me talk about something simple here. Now that we've covered arithmetic and logical operators, let's discuss string templates. In Kotlin, you can easily include variable values in strings using the $sign. Let me show you another one. Let's talk about string template. Okay, so you can include a value or variable value in a string using the $sign. You can use this symbol to include a value or a variable in a string. This is a cool feature of Kotlin that makes it easy for you to construct dynamic strings. So we've been using it. That's why I want to highlight that part. You can see here we created this variable and we've constructed a string. If you see, this is the code from the left side here to the right side here. If you watch carefully, this is a string, but we are able to embed this variable over here. We are able to embed the variable is sunny and then weekend into these strings. So let me show you another example. Let me create a variable called language, which is a variable called with a value Kotlin. So I'm coming to a text saying hello. So with a $sign, I'll just include the value there, and then I'll say hello Kotlin. Can we be friends? So when I run this code, you can see I don't have the actual Kotlin here, but since I've created a variable and assigned it here, with the help of this $sign, I'm able to embed this value into here. So whenever I run it, the value will be ejected to form a complete statement, and it also allows you to create a dynamic variable because later human, you assign a name of say Einstein. Einstein. You can quickly replace this language with human, and then you don't have to repeat these strings again. So dynamically you can replace the value over there. That's the cool thing about this string template. Okay, so let's run it and see the result. We'll see hello Einstein, can we be friends? Okay, so this is it. Hello Einstein, can we be friends? And then we can also use the language. When you run it, you see hello Kotlin, can we be friends? So you see that hello Kotlin, can we be friends? So with the help of this dollar sign, we are able to embed a value or variable into strings. So this just a variable. If you want to embed an expression, then you need to surround the whole expression with the open and close curly brackets. So for example, if I want to include, let's say, this variable called person age, and then person 1 age and person 2 age, I want to put the total there. I have to bring the curly brackets before I type whatever I want to inject there. So let's say let me stick with the language and human variable. Okay, so when you run this, you see the total. So this is an expression because it evaluates to a value. In a bit, I'll talk about expression and statement. What are expression and statement? Let's continue. The thing is, if you are performing some calculation or something that produces a value, then you need to include it in the curly brackets. But if it's just one value or one variable, you can do it without the curly brackets, but you have to bring the dollar sign. So the dollar sign is the main thing you have to remember. Finally, let's clarify the difference between expression and statement in Kotlin. Expression is a piece of code that produces a value. For example, when you create a variable called, let's say, tax, let's say 4 plus 7. So this is an expression, because it will produce, when this operation happens, it will produce a value, and that value will be assigned to this tax variable. So this is an expression because at the end it will produce a value. But what's a statement? Statement performs an action but does not return a value. For example, the print statement we've been writing, like hello world. This is a statement. It just prints, it performs an action, but this will perform an operation and then return the results and assign it to this tax variable. So this is an expression and this is a variable. In Kotlin, most things are expressions, including if, conditions, and loop, which I will explore in the next episode. So to sum it up, we've covered the basic of operators in Kotlin, which are arithmetic operators, comparison operators, interpolation. We also distinguish between expression and statement. These are the building blocks you will use as you continue to learn Kotlin. So make sure you are comfortable with them. In the next episode, I will cover control flow with conditions. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification button so that you don't miss out. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching and see you in the next episode. To sum it up, we've covered the basic of operators, arithmetic, comparison, logical operators, and string templates. We've also distinguished between expression and statement. These are the building blocks you will use as you continue to learn Kotlin. So make sure you are comfortable with them. In the next episode, I will dive into control flow with conditions. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification button so that you don't miss out. If you have any questions, please leave them in there. Thank you for watching and see you in the next episode.